Hey, what is up, guys? This is David from Bronx Banter coming at you with another episode number 50. And this is going to be a pretty interesting one, a doozy. We're kind of in a little stalemate right now with what's going to happen in the offseason, whether that's going to be us getting another starting pitcher, us building upon our already reliable, strong, consistent bullpen over the years. Shout out to Matt Blake and the pitching staff. So we're not too sure exactly what's going to happen. Maybe we won't do absolutely anything at all. So very interested to see. There's a bunch also of free agents that have not signed yet, and we're pretty late into the offseason. But despite all this, us as we're waiting for more news to break out, I don't want to continue to talk about the rumors because I feel like this year has been crazy with the rumors. I'm just going to talk about the players that we do have on our team. And one question, one comment, names that always come up in every single video, even if I'm talking about starting pitching, even if I'm talking about infield, is our outfield depth, our outfield future, and the players that are a part of our outfield. So with all the moves that we made this offseason, from acquiring Grisham, Soto, and Verdugo, that alone is a starting outfield right there. Now, maybe not the best one that we could put out, but that's a starting outfield right there. On top of the names that we already have, like Judge, Pereira, even Cabrera being out there a little bit. And then we got some young names coming up as well with Spencer Jones. And let's not forget Dominguez. And to throw in even more of a wrench, which is a good problem to have, we have Dominguez reportedly coming back sooner than expected. And he, according to Aaron Boone, is expected to be a regular in spring training. So he didn't give us a date of when he's coming back, but from that news, I could almost expect him coming back within the first month of the regular season, maybe. So obviously they're not no rush because of all the depth they have, but it'll be very interesting to see when Dominguez comes back. Now, I really want to break down what does our outfield look like beyond, well, this season and even beyond this season. From Juan Soto being a free agent to Verdugo also being in a walk year to us having Grisham, I believe, for another year or two to figuring out if Dominguez is injury prone or not. There's so many questions. And then to Spencer Jones coming up and him being a higher prospect than even Dominguez as of right now, which is crazy to think. So it's a good problem to have. But I feel like in every video and every topic, it's always brought up as to who should get traded, who should get kept, who needs to be re-signed, what's going to happen. Now, in this video, I'm going to kind of break down every position, every player in the outfield and kind of where they're at and what can we expect, what can we hope. Obviously, the most notable, the captain Aaron Judge, he's going nowhere. No question. He's obviously playing center field only because Dominguez is kind of out. Now, what happens when Dominguez gets back? We then have an outfield of four rightfully deserving starting outfielders of Dominguez, Judge, Soto, and Verdugo. Now, people could start saying Verdugo is going to become a platoon because his split, he has pretty heavy splits. So, okay, we do that. Then who do we end up benching? Because we're not going to bench a bat like Judge or Soto or even Dominguez. Now, maybe you will only because maybe he's a rookie, but even then, like if he's producing like the way he was last year in that little bit, in that little stretch, I mean, those are your three best bats right there in the outfield. So you don't want to bench any of them. And then, okay, you could DH, but then you got Stanton clogging up the DH. Maybe, okay, you'll go ahead and just bench Stanton some days, obviously, because with him being injury prone, or you could bank on him being injury prone, but then again, he's getting slimmer. There's a lot. See, even just there's a lot. So Judge is a shoe in. Soto's got to be a shoe in. Now, at most, maybe some DH days because Soto doesn't have the outfield glove like Judge or, Verdugo isn't a lights out outfielder, but he does a great job, solid job out there. Verdugo, and then you even got Dominguez that's young, athletic, fast, that could cover a lot of ground. So Soto, he's a shoe in. Now you got Verdugo. Verdugo's a walkier. I feel like he's gonna be maybe a hot take, more of a role player. He's going to have his starts because, you're waiting for Dominguez to get back. So he's going to have his starts. And even when Dominguez gets back, he's still going to have his starts, but he's going to be more of a role player. Off the bench, good average hitter. He's going to do his thing, but I'm not sure how Verdugo is going to handle that. Then you got Pereira, Everson Pereira. I think he's going to be out of here. He's got to get traded for something at some point. I don't even know if Pereira has any more options, but if he does, then he's definitely not going to be in the majors, I believe. because we just have too much in the outfield, and he didn't show us too much when he was up in the majors. And then you even, of course, the one and only Jason Dominguez coming back. When he's coming back, he's got to start. Gotta start. Now, maybe knowing how the Yankees love giving rest days, and, I understand the reason behind it, they may ease Dominguez even when he returns. He may not play every single game back to back to back to back to back. He may ease into it. Or maybe even then he may come in and not be coming back solely as a center fielder. He may come back as a DH spot, platooning with Stanton, I guess, just to take a little bit of less pressure off the arm and coming back so soon. And then, really, what I feel like throws the biggest wrench and question mark of all this are two players. One is Soto, and two is Spencer Jones. Now, these are arguably one of our greatest talents in on our roster. Jones is on the 40 man, but not exactly on our MLB roster. But Spencer Jones, Spencer Jones is what encouraged me to create this video, because if we didn't have Spencer Jones coming up, seemingly people projected this year, but now we're probably projecting next year, because with all of the outfielders we just acquired, Spencer Jones is coming up very soon. And what brings a question mark is, if we didn't have Spencer Jones, we would just think, okay, great, we're just going to re-sign Soto, and that's our outfield of the future: Dominguez, Soto, Judge. But what do you do when you got Spencer Jones coming? Pereira, like I said, we're probably going to get rid of. Verdugo, I could see us just letting him walk unless he has some crazy year, which even then, I think we just have too much talent to feel the need to re-sign Verdugo. Spencer Jones is going to be the fourth outfielder. I think if he's your number one prospect, believe he's projected, again, higher than Dominguez, I don't think you're just going to want him to come up into the season 2025 and just being your fourth outfielder, because naturally that's where he would fit. But something's got to give. And again, that's expecting if we resign Soto. So I know this is going to sound a ridiculous kind of question, but are you re-signing Soto, or are you just going to go with the young talent of Spencer Jones since he's touted so highly? Now, I'm not talking to now Jones, though he's number one in our farm system, does not mean he's number one in all of MLB. So he's nothing like Jackson Holiday. Now, all those rankings are, don't mean a whole lot, because we've seen mid to low level ranked prospects come up and be generational talents, or just great, amazing talents. But still, Jones, lefty, as tall as Judge, roughly. People compare him to the left-handed Judge, and maybe in terms of stature. But Spencer Jones has a lot of promise. And because of our depth in the outfield, people have also been saying trade off Spencer Jones. I see the understanding in that. So the question is really what it boils down to. We could ignore Judge, we could ignore Verdugo, we could ignore Pereira, we could ignore Dominguez. They're all going to be either walking or on our team or traded, respectively. The question is Spencer Jones and Soto. I think what's going to happen, seemingly that we didn't trade off Spencer Jones yet, is that we are going to keep Spencer Jones, let him develop this next year, because we know how the Yankees love to let their players develop. But in this sense, rightfully so, let him develop this year. And we're going to see what can we do? Are we able to land Soto? Are we able to resign him or extend him? I know it sounds crazy to think that we're even questioning this. It shouldn't even be a question, but this is just reality. Just being honest. So don't come at me talking about, oh, well, this shouldn't be even a question. You're right. It shouldn't be. But we live in a world where the Yankees aren't the same Yankees of 2009 and prior. So we do have to question if we're going to re-sign Soto, if we're going to win in that. So there's big suitors for them as well, such as the Mets and other teams. But are we going to re-sign Soto? If we re-sign Soto, Jones, I'm going to go as far as saying, I'm going to give you a little hot take. It's not a hot take episode, but I'm going to give you a hot take. Jones is getting moved. Now, if we don't get to re-sign Soto, Jones is going to take that spot in the roster and even in the outfield. Well, Jones is probably going to move to left. Judge is going to move back to right. Now, in an insane, not an too insane, but we also got to keep in mind something that I was having a great conversation with someone down in the comments episode or two ago, talking about that Judge for the last couple of seasons in spring training has been getting first base reps. Now, some people may think this does not mean much. I think it means something. With his stature, he would be an excellent first baseman. Now, he's not your typical lefty, left-handed first baseman, but he could still be a great first baseman. Remember, we had Luke Voigt as a first baseman. Wasn't a Gold Glover, but still there. Judge obviously has much more potential to be a better defensive first baseman in that sense, and we see a handful of right-handed first basemen around MLB. All that being said, I could see with Rizzo's contract being up, I believe after this next season and after 2024, I don't think we should re-sign Rizzo. I love Rizzo to death, but talent-wise, we have to see what he comes up with this next season. But with the concussion, he may be back 100%, but I don't know. There's some wear and tear there for sure. Let him walk. You could move Judge to first. This may sound blasphemous, but hear me out, guys. Hear me out. You can move in the world that we want to keep all four of Jones, Dominguez, Soto, and Judge. You put Judge at first, right field Soto, center's Dominguez, left is Jones. Look at that young outfield. Soto probably being year 26, 26 years old. And then you got Dominguez being what at that point 21 or yeah, probably just 21 or 22 years old. Jones obviously falls in between that. I'm not too sure. I think he is older than Dominguez. So that incredibly young outfield with so much talent, so much promise. And then you got Judge at first, figuring it out there, which I know he will because he's been practicing there for years already. So there's that. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think it's going to happen because we have too much infield depth. But listen, I'm not going to freak out if I see Judge get penciled in mid-game as a first base fill-in to play defensively. Sounds crazy, but I don't want to overlook the fact that he's been getting reps there. Now, it could have just been that just because Rizzo was busy doing something else or they had first baseman busy doing something else. It happens in practice like that. I don't know. Maybe in the majors is different. Don't know. But when I saw him at first base, it made sense. It's very possible. But what I think is more likely to happen is that the Yankees are going to hold on to Jones, figure out if they could extend Soto. And if they can, they'll expend Jones to just build further upon an already strong team, or they'll go ahead and not extend Soto and not be in the competition and go ahead and move on with Spencer Jones in the outfield, with right field being Judge, center field being Dominguez, and left field being Jones. Let me know what you guys think. Remember, as of right now, our outfield, we have Judge, Soto, Verdugo, Pereira, and then Dominguez inevitably coming back. I'm not even counting Stanton because he's strictly going to be DH, if not on the IL, unfortunately. So, with all the outfielders we got at least. So, what's going to happen this season, next season? Are we extending Soto? Are we trading Jones this season or next season? Like, what's going to happen? There's so many things that could possibly happen and could truly change the trajectory of our future and within the Yankees, not just the outfield, but as our team as a whole. So interested to hear what you guys have to think. Let me know as we are waiting so much for the next news this offseason. If you liked this episode, please make sure to like it, comment down below, and subscribe and watch what YouTube suggests would be a great video for you. You're not going to want to miss all the latest Yankees news and topics going on. Listen, Judge wants you to subscribe. The Martian wants you to subscribe. So make sure you do. And until next time, peace and be blessed.